All right, so now we're going to do the 47611-C6B, the SMC Cat 6 module. It's a 6-port module. It comes as a single piece. It is T568A out of the box. Instruction sheets included, as well as a little termination tool. Best to use a standard 110 punch tool with a cutoff blade. All right, so this product has a cutout on the side to route your cable. You can mount the cable, you can mount it right over the top of the cable like so. You can mount it in the center, or any of these rows, wherever you'd like. We're going to mount ours here. These are our cables that have been installed in the building. We're going to relabel and cut them flush and get ready to terminate. We need to get the labels back about 6 inches or so. These are too close to the end. This is a 6-port module. I'm going to terminate all 6 ports. Let the ink dry there for a moment. I get a strip tool. The product is out of the box. It's set up for T568A. Most residential installations in the United States are done to T568A, and that is only important to know that it's the same as the jacks at the far end. So assuming our jacks installed are T568A at the far end, we'll leave this alone. However, if we did want to turn it around to B, we just take it out and reverse it, put it back in. And that will change your terminations to B. We're going to leave ours at A. The ports themselves are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Where you terminate the cables, though, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can see 5 is marked here, 6 is marked here, 1 is here, and 2 is here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So what I'm going to do is start with this side, and we'll do 2, 4, 6, and then I'll separate the cables over to the other side for 5, 3, 1. So even and odd. So we'll focus now on the cables that we're going to do on this side, 2, 4, and 6. We'll start with 6 here. To terminate these cables, you want to strip off 2 to 3 inches of cable. Don't be shy about this. Take off plenty of cable. It gives you something to grab a hold of when you're pressing the cable in there. It does make life a little bit easier as an installer to have some extra cable sticking out here. Inside of a Category 6 cable structure, so you're going to have 4 pairs of cable, the blue, orange, green, and brown pairs. You may or may not have a strength member in the middle here. This is a pair separator. You may or may not have a string coming out. The only thing you really are concerned about is the 4 conductor pairs. The rest of the material can be cut off. If you have a shielded cable, if you open it up and you have foil and a metallic wire that's extra, you have a shielded cable, this is not the appropriate termination. This is for UTP, or unshielded twisted pair cable, such as this cable. All right, so when we're terminating to A, it'll be blue, green, orange, brown. You're flipping the green and the orange pairs. So we'll do blue, green, orange, brown. We want to start with the green and orange pairs first, and then bring the brown and blue in so the cable ends up being in the center. The cable enters the center of the 110 punch down. So only untwist what you absolutely need and push it over the little plastic rib there. It's actually called a castle. This little device here that splits the pair is called a castle. So I'll go ahead and press those in there. I'm not going to punch them down just yet. I just want them to stay in place while I bring in the brown and the blue pair. So we'll do that one, and we will do the blue pair. All right, now I'll go ahead and punch down all 4. We'll seat the white and blue. White's on the top, then blue, as it's shown on the label. Trying to shove so hard. And then my brown pair. and get rid of these conductors. So there's number 6. Next we'll do 4 and 2. All right, so I've already done 6. We'll go ahead and do 4 and then 2. The included little tool here, while it will not cut the cable, it is useful for seating the conductors, at least to the first part, so that they won't fall out. So this can be a useful tool for holding things down. If you're only doing one panel and you may never do something like this again, you can go ahead and use the included tool. It's sufficient. You do have to press fairly hard to get them to seat in, and you'll feel it click. I'm going to push in, and you'll feel it click in there as the cable passes into the IDC. So we'll just go ahead and do all of these. It's not the same as an impact tool, and it will not cut the conductors, but it is sufficient to get them seated for electrical purposes. What you'll end up having to do now is get some shears and cut these off, and you need to be really careful to cut them off flush. The best bet is to use a tool that has a blade, and it will cut them off for you. All right, so we'll call this side good. And what we want to do now is take the excess slack cable and store it. You can run it down and store it in a loop, but you want to be careful not to pinch it down at the bottom. A better solution, if you can, is to push it out the top of the enclosure. This is kind of a lot of cable to fish up there. I know that we have a fairly large cavity up there for me to use. Best discretion. This gives you a nice clean look. Okay, then we'll do the other side.